Hello everyone and welcome to this 16 plus things I wish I knew in Coral Island. We will talk about what things I wish I knew myself, but also some suggestions made by the community. I have tried to make a short and useful list, but since I do not know every secret this game has to offer, please do let us know down below in the comment section if you have any useful tips of your own you would like to share with the community. Some of the things I wish I knew are: number one, and this may be one of the more important ones. This one will be different for everybody, but it is possible to change the game time speed to your own liking. Personally, I like to play with around 70%, sometimes 60%, depending on the situation. You can slow down the in-game time to make sure you have a little bit more time to do everything you would like to in a day. Personally, I think the default 100% is a little bit too fast. You feel very rushed doing like one thing a day, but if you turn it down to 70% or even 60 or 50, it will definitely help you out. You will notice a huge difference. You can take a little bit more time doing everything, planning what you're gonna do next, and it is just a much more chill and cozy experience. In the beginning, usually you will be harvesting your crop by hand, one by one, but as your farm gets bigger and bigger, this becomes way more time consuming. So instead, I suggest, if you have the energy to spare, use a scythe. The scythe will take some energy, I believe around 3 energy per use, depending on your skill level. If you have a higher skill level, then it will cost you a little bit less, or perhaps if you have enchantments. But this will help you harvest multiple crops in one go, and it will certainly save you a lot of time that you can spend elsewhere. Number 3. Do you often forget which seeds you've planted in which fields? How many more days are left until one crop is grown and you can harvest it? Hold right click on your crops and you can see not only what type of crop is planted there, but also how many days are remaining until you can harvest it. I can be quite forgetful at times, so this tip is really useful for me. Number 4, when you get close to a fence that you've built on your farm, you can easily hop over it by pressing the dash key and moving towards the fence. This will make getting around your farm so much easier. Number 5, at the start of the game you will notice that crows every now and then will eat your crops, and this will obviously cost you a lot of money if you don't do anything about it. The game will give you a quest to build a Scarecrow, but you won't get a blueprint for it until you reach a certain level in your farming skill. If you do not have a Scarecrow by the first weekend in game, go to the van that's above the forest near the waterfall there, and in the weekends you can buy one Scarecrow there, and it's even better than a makeshift Scarecrow that you get from your first couple of farming skills. This one can reach a range of 11 by 11, as where the makeshift one is only a 5 by 5. This will give you plenty of farming ground to get your first farm started and make sure that crows do not eat any of your crops. Number 6, you will also likely have a lot of trouble with your inventory space. Of course, you can buy yourself a backpack expansion at Sam's store, but what you should also do is get yourself a makeshift chest, or a better one if you can find it, of course. This makeshift chest will give you 20 slots for you to store items in, and per default the storage space is shared, meaning that you can craft items anywhere on your farm using the items stored in that chest. You can also turn off the shared storage space if you do not wish to use, for example, one chest that you want to use for offerings or donations, just to make sure you don't accidentally use anything you don't want to. But in general, this is a really useful feature. Alternatively, you could use the shipping chest on your farm for daily storage if you are carrying a little bit too much and you just quickly want to get rid of something so you can pick up something else. Be very careful, however. If you have something stored in that shipping chest and you sleep, then it will of course be sold overnight and you will lose those items. This is not something I would recommend myself, but it may be useful every now and then. Number 8. If you are a little bit low on cash, go foraging. Gather herbs, clams, etc. And you can sell these directly at Sam's General Store or the Beach Shack. Of course, you can also sell some of the crops that you harvest at Sam's immediately, and that will immediately give you some cash so you can buy more seeds or something else, instead of having to wait until it is shipped overnight. Number 9. Be very careful when you are moving around buildings around your farm. When moving a building like the silo, for example, and you have hay stored in there, you will actually lose the items stored within. So please make sure that if you have anything placed within those buildings or stored in their storage, please take it out before you move things around. Number 10. Do not focus on just one activity alone. All of them are important and have their own useful crafts. Like for example, the diving skill has a recycler. The recycling machine is especially useful early on in the game when you want to make sprinklers and you are very low on scrap. You can put trash into that machine and it will give you scrap in return, which is extremely useful for making those sprinklers. And same goes with all the other ones. The mining, the fishing, the bug hunting, the farming obviously. All of them have their own useful crafts, so please do not ignore any one of these activities. Number 11. When you are in the caverns, sometimes you will find kind of an odd looking spot on the ground. In a little bit of a bronze color, silver. But hey, guess what? Hit it with your pickaxe, because this is a ore vein. And if you reach the end of it, you will get a bunch of that ore type. This is extremely useful, but also very easy to miss. So please make sure you look around first before you go down another level. I should not have to say this, but number 12, please do upgrade your tools. Especially your pickaxe and your scythe are really useful early game. This will allow you to clear more trash at lower energy cost because you have to hit them less often. And same goes for the pickaxe, of course, in the cavern. Number 13, you can use the map to find townfolk, opening times of stores, and if you have trouble finding them on the map, go into the relationship tab, select one of the townfolk, and then at the bottom there will be a button called Find NPC. Click it and you will instantly locate them on the map and know where to go to talk to them, or give them a gift, of course. Number 14. Early on in the game, you may feel like you want to sell as much as you can to make money, but please be careful. Do not sell every bug, every fish, every crop whenever you harvest it. I highly recommend keeping at least 2 of each separate in a makeshift chest, because you will need them later on for offerings to the lake temple and donations to the museum. And not only that, you can also need them for example, an errand for one of the townfolk. Or perhaps one of the townfolk really likes that item as a gift, and you will need them later on to increase your friendship level with them. So I highly recommend always keeping a couple of crops around. Once you have the museum and the lake temple unlocked, and you hover over an item, it will also show you in the menu whether or not you can offer or donate them, and if you have offered or donated them before. Number 15. You will find a lot of clovers in the ground all around the island. Hit them with the hoe and you will get some useful items. Now, not all of them are super useful. Sometimes you'll get something like compost, which obviously is not huge, but other times, especially on the beach, I noticed you can also find kelp. And kelp is extremely useful for getting essence or getting your first sprinklers. So do not forget about those clovers. Do hit them. You may even find a coffer which will give you an artifact for a donation, for example. And number 16, this may seem like an odd one, but rummage through the trash cans around town whenever you walk past them. In a game like Stardew Valley, when you go hit the trash can, the NPCs will look weird at you, but in this game, they don't mind. You can do whatever you want. You can just rummage through the trash, get some useful items in the process, like fish, bugs, some food items every now and then. So it is really worth rummaging through them. Alright, and that is it for this video. If there are enough community tips in the comment section, I will be sharing your tips in a future video. Hope this video was helpful to you all. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed it, leave a comment, and please subscribe if you want to see more Coral Island.